How's it going? Audit streets. Yeah, everyone else in my house is sick. I seem to be okay so far. Salsa boy! Uh-oh. Why do you have to ban this guy? Look, hey. No beef. Ricky bought a Glimmer? Really? So let's just support Ricky, I take it. Damn, those look bang on to me. So, the issue is that, in my opinion, it became too hard to kill people. And then they tried to wind that back, and now people are complaining that heroes like Lena, who's a burst damage hero, are killing people. Right? Because for a long time the meta was, just stay alive forever, and you'll win the game. And then you had heroes like Underlord, etc. that were popular. Damn! Not the right gun for this. I got this thing because I killed a guy and he had it, and I don't like it. It punches hard, but at range, it's not good. Did get a bear, so that's something. The tank meta was preferable. I don't know, it's very difficult. I think we need a middle ground. I think we're forgetting that. So I think as we've had this power creep in Dota, which has definitely been a thing, if you look at some heroes, as the game goes on, and now we have things like tier 5 items and all the rest of it, mega creeps and tier 5 items were meant to be game ending. The game is over. They got megas. And then that stopped being as much of a thing. Because too many heroes now have the ability to kill creeps. So it's like, alright, so what do we need to do now? How about if we have... Oh, I don't know if I want this helmet. What we'll do is we'll nerf stuns. And that way, you know, you can't get stunned, and in the stun you'll be blown up. Okay, cool. So we've nerfed stuns. So then it's like, we need to make a bit more survivability. So we'll bring in things like, you know, all these items that allow you to fucking persist and stuff like that. I mean, BKB not stopping smokescreen, who knows? Smokescreen affecting you trying to hit buildings? What is this? You know what I mean? It's just bizarre. It's one of those things you feel like they're genuinely not sure how to fix the situation. And it's always, it goes too far one way, and then it comes back too far the other way. Like, that's just where we are. Which is a shame. But yeah, I think the central problem is that it's like a battle now between things that are OP and things that are underpowered, and how do we fix that? So it's just a constant back and forth. And I don't know what the solution is, genuinely. What can you do? I mean, you've kind of gone too far one way, you know? Everything's getting more powerful, so because everything's getting more powerful, everything needs to get more powerful to stop those things that are more powerful. It's a problem. Well, if you look at Dota, I want you to go back and look at things like TI4, TI5. Now, if you look at the $1 million echoes, the $6 million echo slam, the Earthshaker blinks in, echoes 5 heroes, AA blast on top, 4 guys die, and 1 escapes. A Ravage, a good Ravager called a bunch of heroes, people were gonna die. And it made it exciting. But I think they thought it can't just be teamfight and stuns, because then a lot of these sort of fiddly heroes, what's the point? So let's give a little bit more survivability to heroes, because these fights are ending too quick. And gradually over time you've ended up with this dual living longer and having more health, and heroes nowadays have insane health pools. And all these items that give you armor. I mean, I'm not kidding. Craggy Coat, I think, is bonkers how much armor it gives you for a fucking free item. Like, when you activate it, it gives you more than plate mail. What is that? And then you've also had, let's make things scale a bit to keep up with this stuff. So it's constantly this increasing race. All the top Dota teams right now have a massive nerd on them. Get them out. You're talking about Owie 2000, right? I mean, look, Dota's a professional game now. It didn't used to be. Genuinely. Some of you probably won't remember this time or weren't into Dota at the time. It used to be a fucking clown car. Every team had their own way of playing and heroes that they liked. They picked the heroes that they were good at. It was generally speaking about picking someone who could farm on a carry. So literally, if you could hit creeps really well, you're probably going to be a professional player. That's it. I don't even know who that was. I guess a rogue spotted me. I thought I had the angle where he couldn't see me. Gun porn. Is gun porn a subscriber, or is that the name of a player? I don't know. Let's find out. At gun porn. I think he's bring back Troll Sniper. No. I mean, I will say this. I'm really enjoying playing Dota at the moment. I think it is fun. I think there are a lot of heroes that are viable. There are certain heroes that are broken, and they need to fix that. But I don't think they need to change like a huge amount. And I wish, although I think honestly they're kind of just, we're going to end up pretty soon with one patch a year, which is a shame because I think this is the best game ever made. But I do feel like we're going to get to a point where there's one patch a year and we just got to fucking suck it up. I don't think they're going to keep cranking out patches. I don't think they're going to do that, unfortunately. I mean, yeah, I just, I think that the game has essentially, it's what, a 15-year-old game? Dota 2? There's not many games that get supported for as long as that are as good and as vibrant as it's been. But yeah, I don't see it lasting... Because from the perspective of the pro scene, there's so many pro games and tournaments and everything. Like, it's honestly in a really fucking nice place in terms of the pro scene, in terms of how many tournaments there are. And when Valve said, we're stopping the pro tour, we're not doing that anymore, it's on you guys, we're going to open this up to the community and all of these companies. If you guys want to fucking make tournaments, make tournaments. Well, we are out. And loads of people were like, it's the end of Dota. And it was not. Because it turns out, and I knew this ahead of time, everyone on the scene was delighted. Everyone that worked in Dota was delighted that they didn't have to worry about the Pro Tour and Valve and everything, that they could fucking set up their own events and all the rest of it. Because that's how they can make the money. That's it. I mean, that's the way. They can then partner with whoever the fuck they want and actually make money from Dota tournaments, which was genuinely hard to do for a long time. So the fact that we're seeing so many, and we've even seen companies coming in who haven't done this in a while, right? Like, I don't know if Blast have ever done a Dota tournament before. I hadn't noticed one if they had, so apologies if I'm wrong, but shit like that, you're like, wow, it's actually is seeming to grow the pro scene, which I thought was impossible and was dead in the water. I mean, it's just, there's money in Dota still. The thing is that Valve doesn't make anything from those tournaments. So, as far as they're concerned, essentially, who gives a shit, right? Like, they don't make money from it the way that they did when there were, like, battle passes and items and chests and all the rest of it. I actually think what they should do in order to keep the game interesting for themselves as an ongoing, worth it for the cost game, would be to have the old school in-game tickets with a cosmetic for tournaments. There are too many $1 million tournaments right now. I'm sure the players aren't saying that, Red. I'm sure the players aren't saying that. I mean, something's got to pick up the slack. So Valve is the overseer of TI, right? But it's PGL production. Valve have gradually inched back, so PGL is the driver now. But imagine if Valve is like the backseat driver. Can we stop spawning over here, please? That would be great. Thank you. Hard to know which are important. I mean, none of them are important in terms of, like, making it to TI, right? Isn't TI back to being invite now? Am I crazy here? There's no qualifying system. I'll be honest with you, I honestly don't know what the qualification system for TI is anymore. We can live with it. Whoa! Where is he? He's a way out. Aha. No? Yeah? Ooh. Alright, but you got the juice. Whew. Juicy. Snuck up. Taz. Really? Wait, me being on that roof didn't count for reconnaissance? You're kidding me. I was fucking up there for 10 years. Ah, shit. Fucking hell, what a raid, eh?
Son of a bitch! You dumb cunt!
Whew. Man, this was some raid. Oh, we're going to have to talk about this on the mailbag tomorrow. Do you guys remember me talking about a guy called Wes Watson? He's an enormous, roided out bodybuilder who apparently did time and talks about prison life and stuff. He's up again in court. And Oof. It's a pretty crazy story. There is a subreddit called r/Wes Watson. And there was a really funny post on there the other day that said, I thought this was a Wes Watson fan subreddit, but it is the opposite of that. It is people crawling over every single piece of social media and basically calling him out as much as they can for being a terrible person. Like, for example, he's always claimed that he's 6 foot. But when he was arrested, of course, they have to release all the details about him being arrested and the mugshots and everything, and he's 5'8". Now, there is nothing wrong with being 5'8". I have many friends who are much shorter than that. It doesn't change how fantastic they are as a person. The thing is, if you claim you're something and you're way off it, you can kind of understand why people are like, why'd you lie? And then, of course, he gets arrested and you see his real height. Stuff like that. Stuff like him claiming he has his family and everybody's convinced it's actually a renter family that he's got and he's just like a hooker that he's with and stuff, so... Either way, it's a wild ride. Well, that was a fucking raid, eh? I need a cowboy hat. Overpopulated. Exactly.
Excuse me, sir, but it's time to goose.
CR4CKSH07 just resubbed for 44 months. Good evening.
I don't know where to get said cowboy hat. We'll just try factory, I guess. Run around until we can find some dead lads with a cowboy hat. Am I allowed to talk about older mailbag emails I sent in here, or am I going to get roasted? About me kicking a dog in the face. How old is it? Did I read it out, or was this one you sent and it didn't get read out? Well, you gotta tell me. I mean, I could find the email. Like, did we read it out?
Excuse me, sir, but it's time to goose.
Pisle 123 just resubbed for 64 months.
Muchas
Good evening.
gracias.
You're pinned.
Not going out without a fight, motherfucker.
Are you nuts? What the hell?
Yeah. So, Emma Dan, I don't know if I've missed your response. Just very quickly, was the email read out? And if not, can you give me anything to search on so that I can try and find it?
Excuse me, sir, but it's time to goose.
Faint 20 just resubbed for 14 months.
Thank you. That's very kind. What do you want? What do you want me to say? Thank you? Thank you. Subject is dog kicking. Oh God. This is from January. Alright, is everybody ready for this to be read out? I'm not going to read it out on the podcast, but I'll read it out here. Is anyone ready for this to be read out? Now, before I read this out, let's just consider here for a moment. Just think about this email and think, I can kind of see why Pyrian didn't read it out, or you can be like, I can't believe he didn't read that out. You could tell me afterwards. Content warning, dog kicking. Dear PFlax, hold on. Woohoo! I am extremely offended, bold all caps. My story was not read out during the last mailbag, as it not only relates to dogs, but also Sips' love for dog kicking. But also understandable due to the my last email being written poorly and with a lot of unneeded fluff as I was on the phone and the toilet. Now, if I remember rightly, I stopped reading at that point. Because I was like, I will not read out an email from someone who can't be bothered to send a decent email. Anyway. Dog attack. I used to work out early in the morning before I went to work. So one day, I was out walking around the apartment complex when I spotted a man walking in circles in front of one of the dumpsters. I had not noticed him until I was too close for comfort, otherwise I would have gone a different route. When I tried to quickly walk past him, I noticed two dogs walking around near him. Even more concerned, I picked up the pace. But the way was blocked once one of the dogs ran ahead of me and then proceeded to approach me. Being tired from working out and being stupid as I was, I thought, oh, this dog looks nice enough. I let it approach me and even bend down and pet it. When it got about 5 feet in front of me, it began to snarl, then run at me. The dog jumped up on me and latched its teeth around my leg. In a panic, I pulled my leg back, then kicked it as hard as I could in the face. This worked. The dog put its tail between its legs, then laid down in front of me just looking at me. With my heart racing, I looked around to make sure the other much bigger dog was not coming. To my surprise, the man, seemingly on meth or some other substance, was running back and forth in the grass with the other dog. I yelled out to him, "Is this your dog?" And he gave me no notice and just continued running around. After this, I made my way to the apartment office to let them know about the crazy man and his dogs, and about 30 minutes later, I saw police cars where the man was. I then decided to call into work just to take the day off, as I was very shaken. For context, I was wearing a weighted vest, so it was very difficult for me to move quickly / run away, and I had no injuries afterwards since I was able to shake the dog off quickly. This all took place around 7 a.m. I live in Lubbock, Texas, a medium-large sized town with quite a bit of dangers. My city was once labelled the second most dangerous city on Halloween in the country due to the large university, Texas Tech, being placed next to the well-known East Side for its poverty and crime. Love you much, kiss kiss. That's a bad email. Super boring. Like, yeah, you kicked the dog. Well done. You probably did the right thing. There's no punchline to the story. There's no nothing. It's just a dog came at me and I understandably booted it in the face and then it ran away and I was victorious. That's the entirety of that email summed up for you. Boring. Not unusable. Unusable. You're not alone. You're not alone. 90% of the emails that get sent are just like if someone told you that story, just imagine this. Just imagine this. You're with your mates. How was your day? Ugh, terrible. I got attacked by a dog. Really? And you tell the story, and they're like, wow, that's nuts. But there's no follow-up question. Like, you don't have the detail. You don't have... There's no conclusion. There's no humor in it. It's just like, a dog ran at me, jumped up, bit me, I kicked it. A weird guy seemed to be in charge of the dogs. The end. Needs a bit more oomph. Needs a bit more... You know what I'm saying? That's got nothing. It's not animal abuse, dude. I mean, if the dog... For a start... If a dog tries to start a fight with you, you gotta fuck him up. Who's in charge here? Human beings or dogs? It's human beings. Spoiler alert, it's human beings. Ain't no dog running roughshod over me, I'll tell you that. Now then. How do any of these count as being around the lighthouse area? Oh, these do. Oh, these count. All right, sweet. I did get emails for a while from a guy who was clearly mentally ill. That was uncomfortable. God, this is... So, all right, I've just had another email from someone who was very clearly mentally ill. Holy shit. I just don't respond to those. I think that's probably safest, don't you? That is the easier way up here. We've discovered it. Man, that is an old... Hoz, that is an old fucking command. I don't even remember that one. That's just a lovely shot. I'm assuming Bleepo. Ow. Ah, hello, man. Getting a house is very difficult. And yeah, mainly because you're reliant on other people, which is never a good place to be. How's the housing market in the UK? Appalling, is how I would put it. If you're a young first-time buyer, you're fucked. A lot of old people sitting on properties. Anytime. Thank you, game. Where is this guy? Hello. I see people in my neighborhood that are about my age who've clearly got on the market early, sold a place, and are now able to buy somewhere in Twickenham. And I see the houses that they buy and the cars that they buy, and I think, how are you doing this? And it's because they sold somewhere. So you either got on early, or you're rich. It's nuts. I'd take that, matey. Depends what your monthlies are, but fuck me, you gotta get on there. You don't do it now. You think it's gonna get better? The only thing I would say is that the boomers have to die at some point, right? People will buy a house that is literally a cardboard box with a piece of newspaper on top because they just want to get some land that they can subsist on. It's bad. Fuck. It's alright, dude. I mean, it's something everyone can moan about together, right? Like, it's like a collective thing. I don't envy you young people at all. I would not want to be 25, looking to buy somewhere. Nightmare. We bought in 2004, 5. No, it's impossible. Luckily, I love my kids, so I don't mind them living here, you know, basically forever. But, they might want to get their own place, but good luck with that. Might get naded here. So, yes, I have no doubt that buying up north is cheaper. There's also a reason for that, which is there's no jobs up there. I mean, this is the whole complaint from the north is all the investment is happening down south. What the fuck are we supposed to do? So of course it's cheaper. I wouldn't want to fucking move up north as a young person looking for a job. Everything is focused in the south. It sucks. But it's true. How many big employers are there in the north? Remote working would absolutely help. But the old people don't want that. Okay? They don't want that. They think, ow, you've got to get them in the office. Otherwise, they're not going to do any work. Because to them, you are essentially a factory worker. And if they can't stand over you, how can they honestly say you're working? Never mind the fact that clearly just points out what shit managers they are. That unless you are physically in the office, there's no way for them to tell whether you're working or not. Fuck all that. Why aren't you in the office? Fuck them. I'm saying it is about fucking time that young people realised that a general strike, which is to say everyone fucking goes on strike, that's how you change shit. All I'm saying is that there are far more people than there are managers. The whole point of managers is you have more employees than managers. Now, if any company, doesn't need to be a union, any fucking company, if the employees are miserable, if they just all stand outside and say, until you fucking fix this shit, we ain't fucking working. Like, we need to bring that back, man. We've got to fucking live this way. Because all these complaints about the state of the job market and how little people are paying, it's about fucking time they realised that they've had their fucking way for long enough. You're not going to fucking stand for it anymore. We're just not going to turn up. How is your company going to make money when no cunt comes into work? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Fucking pay people. Be decent. It's not hard. You're all making so much fucking money and you're bitching about people. Why aren't they coming to the office? Fuck off. Why aren't you fucking paying people, you cunts? Fucking hate them. Dickheads. It's why there's a reason I don't have a job. Because I'm unemployable. But the other reason is I just fucking hate those bastards so fucking much. Can't abide them. You know who I'm talking about. I don't even need to name any names. You know exactly who I'm talking about. Fucking hate them. I am self-employed. What, am I meant to purely think of myself, Cammy? What am I meant to say? Am I meant to say, fuck you guys, I'm okay? Because I'm telling you, if we literally, as a society, all these people getting fucked over were like, right, that's it. 5 million people are not turning up to work for a week unless you fix this shit. They'd fix that shit. What choice do they have? I don't have a job. I am self-employed. That's not a job. I don't know what it is, but it's not a job. A job is something you have to turn up to. Day after day, or your manager gets up your ass. I am my own manager. So I'm the one who puts any pressure that exists on me. Like, I say to myself, you got to do better, or you got to do this, you got to do that. That's on me. But I am happy with that because I don't want to have someone else telling me what I'm doing wrong or what I should be doing. I want to figure that out for myself. I'm a complete dickhead when it comes to being an employee. I cannot stand managers and most employers. Like, I really can't. But what I do is I base how I'm doing on the feedback I get from the people I work for. And obviously for me, it's easier because I actually have a literal metric for how things are going, right? Like, if I had 3 viewers, if the stream was really fucking bad and I had like 3 viewers and 10 subs, it would be over and I would stop. But until that happens, I'm going to keep plugging away, which is all you can do, right? And I'm enjoying what I do. I like the fact that, I mean, I love my job. I fucking love my job. So it's easy. It's easy to enjoy because it's just doing what I would do anyway, playing video games, right? But I fucking hate managers. I really fucking hate managers. It's very rare you meet a decent one. Very rare. They're almost always little shits. I don't have a job. A job is when you have a salary and you go into work and you have an employer. That's not a job. What is my job? Describe it. It's like 10 different things. There's no sick leave. Yeah, I love my work. All right, I love my work. But it's not a job. A job to me is that you have a boss and you have all that shit. No, HMRC think I have an income. There's a difference. I paid my taxes the other week. Ugh.
Excuse me, sir, but it's time to goose.
Cami-Im just resubbed for 2 months.
Thank you.
Have my Veso box anyway.
Thank you.
Excuse me, sir, but it's time to goose.
Clayas- just resubbed for 2 months. Hey, how are we all?
There's a little box when you do self-employed tax returns. And it asks you to describe your work. And whenever I start typing, it always tells me you are over the word limit. Good luck, it's Hanlon, mate. Good luck. Hey, I've had jobs I fucking hated for a long fucking time. It gets better. It does get better. When you're young, which I'm going to assume you are, because you're watching this dog shit, you have no bargaining chip. You know what I mean?
Excuse me, sir, but it's time to goose.
Revenge of Toaster just resubbed for 53 months. Hello, Edward. It is me, your boss. Here is your job's money for doing your job.
Why should HMRC really care what your job is? Is money arriving in... Oh, what's this? And a red flare? Don't worry about that. Damn, this is a good key. Blue keycard spawn location? I've never seen blue keycard.
I can't even cook a fucking burger. So I think I can't be manager, honestly.
This is single player Tarkov. So it has mods. It's not regular Tarkov. Judy 89 Judy. Can't be manager. I don't know what that's from. We've got an extract right there, so we'll hit this and we'll just leave. Red flares, yes. It's not, bear in mind, it's not a weapon case the way that we're used to. This is just a thing that you... It's like a loot box, basically. Who flamed you? People that hate Tarkov? I think Smithy would enjoy it. I don't know if it's Ross and Trot's kind of game. So weird that crawling allows you to regenerate stamina. Like, this is so tiring. Like, this would be way more tiring than running. It's a great game. People gotta have an opinion, you know what I mean? That's pretty much it. People gotta have an opinion. I blame America. I blame America and the sentence, I'm entitled to my opinion. Hey man, I'm entitled to my opinion. I blame that. I seriously blame that. So everybody thought, yeah. Yep. You know what? You're goddamn right. I'm entitled to my goddamn opinion. That's my God-given right. Hey, buddy. I'm entitled to my goddamn opinion, buddy. You understand me? I'm an American. Do you understand me, buddy? I'm a goddamn American. And I'm entitled to my opinion. Hey, buddy. Let me tell you something. I'm an American. And I'm entitled to my goddamn opinion.
Нормас, нормас. Охуенно сейчас поживимся.
The other issue is, who was it that made fun of this? Might have been the Day Today that started. Let us know what you think at blah blah dot blah blah. Send us your messages. Let us know what you think. Congrats. You know, in that movie, I saw that movie when it was released. We were in the Iraq War and the war in Afghanistan, and there was a lot of shit about how America was being warmongers. And there is a line in that movie, or a scene in that movie, where he says, and this is not, there's no pushback against it from the other characters on screen. This is clearly like they do sometimes, and I love South Park, and I think the two guys that, you know, I think they're geniuses. I really think they are. I am not saying that they are bad guys or you know, oh, they're a couple of fascists or anything like that. But there was a scene where they're talking about how dicks get fucked. Dicks fuck pussies, but dicks also fuck assholes. That scene where they're basically saying, hey, you need us to be dicks because that's how these bad people get stopped. You remember that? You don't have to invade countries and kill 1 million fucking civilians or whatever it was in the name of peace. That's laughably childish to think of that as being somehow the good guys. I think that's really dumb. I think that was probably their worst take. I mean, there's a reason that South Park is universally loved, right? It's not an especially liberal point of view, which is to their credit because it means that a lot of the time, rather than being kind of mealy-mouthed about stuff, they'll just fucking say shit, you know? They'll be like, they're pushing the boundaries, I think, of comedy. And a lot of the people that they pick on, they're not picking on someone that you think that's unfair. They will have a go at people and you think, you're right, that is accurate. Like, that is fair. I mean, when they had a go at people, when they had the Prius, right? The Prius or Prius, when everyone was driving those, they called it the Pius. And there was like everyone that's driving around in one thinks they're better than everybody else, all that kind of stuff. And it's like, oh, I see you drive a filthy, polluting car. And you think, yeah, there are people like that. You know, like that is funny. I thought that was funny. So they do that very well. Fuck. I gotta do this for Rag, man. Let's get to interchange. Try to find a fucking cowboy hat. I mean, I feel like Bono is... He was genuinely not a bad guy. Like, he genuinely. But when you're that rich and that famous and you literally spend your days either sitting around being rich or being on stage in front of like a bajillion people with everyone screaming about how great you are, you have to be a very special kind of person to not turn into a cock. Like I keep saying, name someone who is uber famous and uber rich and he's just like super chill, perfectly normal, no questions, has never fucked up. I'm not talking about someone like, apparently Channing Tatum is a super chill guy, right? He's not playing in the arenas. So, Jack Black did fuck up a little bit recently, but he does seem like a pretty chill dude. Paul Rudd is not performing in front of a stadium audience. I don't know if you know this. Paul Rudd is an actor. Mainly a comic actor. But when you walk out onto stage and thousands of people scream your name and you can't leave the house without having people mob you, I don't know, that's going to do something to your brain. Keanu's a huge racist. Nah, I'm only kidding. Yeah, Dave Grohl. Dave Grohl is one of those guys who just seems to be one of the good guys. Son of a bitch! Thought it was one of you dickheads. Fuck you up to back here, son? Cowboy hat? No. Wait, doesn't that sound mean someone's turned on power? I didn't know they did that. I see you, motherfucker.
I'm going to be your fucking end!
Fuck me. Another Toz. Dude, I've got a ton of hours I've never got Kappa. It's really hard. Like this is a hard game. Like, it's hard enough against the AI. I've said before, I mean, the fact is that there's no matchmaking, and that's rare for a game like this. You would expect to have people with 1,000 hours against similarly rated people, or have some kind of MMR system. Not in Tark. In Tark, you can have 1 hour in the game and come up against a guy who's played nothing but Tarkov since it came out. And he is gonna fucking destroy you. Doesn't need a wiki for the quests. He gets all the quests done that he can in the first week. And then you're just food. These are the guys that run labs on the daily. They load in, they don't fucking go and get food on interchange and have to get some nuts and bolts. They've got all that shit. So that's the thing, is that when you are a rat and you kill some lad who is churning out, backpack stuffed with loot, great gun, great ammo, all the armor, and you kill him, it feels fucking great. I mean, yeah, I agree. The kill the boss, like I've got to kill Sturman 20 times for a quest. His spawn rate, which I've upped to 35% by default with SPT, is like 25%. So 1 in 4 raids in woods, he's going to be there. How many times am I going to get to him before other people do? How many times am I going to get to him and kill him without getting killed on the way there? Or by Sturman? Like, those quests are so dumb. They're the laziest quests. Because I think the whole point of them is that past a certain point, we just need something for people to do to keep them playing the game. But why is Dave Grohl fucked? So Amadan, you can make it. This is not PvE. PvE Tarkov, the official PvE, is not very difficult. SPT is as hard as you want it to be. You want it easier, it's easier. You want it harder, it's harder. Oh, I mean, jeez. That's bad, but it's... I mean, it's not... We're not talking Bill Cosby here. You know what I mean? Dude fucked up. Dude fucked up, for sure. But I wouldn't say, you know, oh, Dave Grohl's a piece of shit. I don't know. I don't know. I think he's probably fine. Yeah, the protection thing, that is a thing for sure. If you're gonna cheat on your missus, you gotta at least be safe. That sucks. That does suck. Bing Crosby. Bing Crosby. I'm sure he was a piece of shit. I mean, Hollywood back in the day? Come on. There's no way they weren't all huge pieces of shit. I mean, back in the fucking 40s and 50s, if you were a young woman and you went to an executive and said, Bing Crosby said something really inappropriate to me. Oh, really? What did he say? He said, hey, sugar tits. They'd just laugh, right? You know what I mean? They're not going to be like, oh, gosh. Did he really? Do you think Bing Crosby was the inspiration for the search engine Bing. I think that's one of my favorite stories about Steve Ballmer. That he would walk around the campus shouting Bing at people to try to get them to say Bing. The things that Kevin Spacey did were bad. Sexual assault, rape, not a good guy. That's certainly what the court case was. I don't know if he was he found guilty in court? I can't remember. But yeah. The thing is, I think he was clearly a very promiscuous guy. And I think when you are rich and famous and you're used to nobody saying no to you, you just think, oh, this one's just playing hard to get. Do you know what I mean? But no, that is not the case. This person doesn't want to have sex with you, and you need to respect that. And Kevin Spacey didn't on a few occasions. But yeah, it's certainly, I think there was certainly enough for people to say, well, that's the end of his career. I mean, you know, he was incredibly successful, famous, rich actor. Like I've said before, how many people do you know that are super rich and famous and also super chill? It doesn't happen, does it? Sadly. Any level of fame can be enough. I think there is a base level of fame where people go from being decent people to being terrible people. And then hold on. There we go. And that would be like serious levels of fame. And then you've got people who don't need much fame at all to exploit it. And those people were bad people all along. And this was just an in for them to get, you know, to abuse people. So I think most people can reach a certain level of fame and be perfectly chill. But I think there are plenty of people who, when they get to a very famous level, it breaks your brain. Like, it genuinely breaks your brain. It must do, because it so consistently happens. It cannot be coincidence that you have all these people who get rich and famous and turn into pieces of shit. I also think money in and of itself breaks people's brains. Think about someone like Mel Gibson, right? I'm sure Mel Gibson, when he was younger, was a perfectly reasonable person. I'd be very surprised if he wasn't. He's just a young lad from Australia, been in some movies. But then he gets rich and famous in Hollywood. And he becomes a committed extremist Catholic. And a massive anti-Semite. And a drunk. And is horrible to women. And is a piece of shit. Do we think that those excesses, that worst side of him, was always there and evident? Or do you think that he wasn't a great guy deep down, but being super rich and famous meant that he was... Yeah, but he was huge in the 90s. I don't think just being famous puts a spotlight on it. I really don't. Because there's so many people out there that are famous and dickheads. It cannot just be coincidence. There must be more to it. It must be the nature of fame that just destroys people's minds. I mean, we're not meant to be famous, are we? It's not a thing. Evolutionarily speaking. Oh my god, I burned myself on a barrel. I agree with that, Fred, yeah. Damn. I mean, there are some people... It doesn't even take much fame to be in a position where you can abuse that power, if you want to call it power. All you need to have, essentially, is some intangible thing that other people want a piece of, and then you can manipulate them. You don't hear about non-famous dickheads. I mean, you certainly do if they're massive dickheads. But yeah, you're right. I mean, everyone knows someone in their life who's a complete piece of shit. But yeah, you don't need to be massively famous to abuse your position. I mean, I don't want to name any names, but I'm sure if you're a Yogs fan, you'll figure out who I'm talking about. Someone who wasn't even a big fucking streamer or a big part of the Yogscast. Who the fuck is this guy? Nobody. No one cared or watched any of his shit, and he was able to abuse that position. Do you know what I'm saying? I was like, this guy was in a position of power? Really? Who even watched him? It's just bizarre. But some people are just so interested in being a streamer or getting adjacent to it. Like with esports, you see it in esports. I mean, look at the shit we had a few years ago. People like Toby and guys like that got called out for their bullshit and for their terrible actions. It's like one of those things where it really doesn't take much. Because if you have... Like, we're all thinking of fame as something that you can sit back and look at it as in totality. But even in friend groups, you have people that are like the main voice of that friend group. Right? You've got people who are like the leader, if you like. Where, you know, you'll say, hey, let's go to this bar. And they'll be like, nah, I don't want to go to that bar. And everyone will take their line. And in their little group, they're sort of the alpha, if you like. So now scale that up to a scene, whether it's a music scene, whether it's an esports scene, whether it's something like a university scene, like, you know, it could be, it doesn't matter how big it is. There will be someone who has some kind of sway or authority in that group. And it doesn't take much for them to be able to abuse that position. And you'll have people who are drawn to that person because they really want to be involved in this and they really want, you know, they want to do whatever they can to sort of progress in this sphere. And then certain people will take advantage of those people, and then you have a fucking problem. If you have a power dynamic, you got an issue. And that's why, you know, most companies ban things like workplace relationships. Because you end up with a situation where a manager hits on a junior, and all of a sudden the question is, did this person really have a choice? I mean, I generally have a vibe check for people, and it's very rare that I'm wrong. And if I can see it, and I'm a clueless idiot, there are a lot of people, I'd meet them and I'm just like, don't know about this one. And I'll sort of distance myself and I won't hang out with them, and it's sort of like, but I should, like I said, I did a big twit longer about this when the Toby stuff came out. If you know something, you should speak up. If you know something. If you just suspect something, I don't think that's fair, because you can be wrong. But if you know something, you should speak up. It's Munticus. It's Munt. Oh. Have we crashed? Or is it thinking? It's thinking. Like, it's hard to be that person that throws someone publicly under the bus. Because if you're wrong, then you really fucked up. Because that person is, you know, their life could be ruined unfairly. And that's the concern. So if it didn't happen to you and you're going on someone's word, it's like, well, fuck, this person better be right. So then it's like, do I just trust this person that they're not necessarily telling the truth, but that this actually happened the way they said it did? Are they misremembering? Like, it's very difficult. It's very, very difficult. It's a hard position to be in. But I think in general, when rumors are going around about a person, it behooves people who have some kind of, I don't want to say power, but some kind of position to warn other people and maybe confront that person and say, I've been hearing some weird shit, dude. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Because that's how you put a stop to it. I mean, I know that after the Toby stuff came out, the thing that shocked me the most, and as an idiot I had never considered, was that the girls that worked on the esports scene, especially Dota, had a list and a group where they warned other women, look out for this guy, he's no good. I'm coming, dickhead. I'm coming, baby. Have you got my favorite gun? Hell yeah. Take your fucking beard as well, mate. What are you gonna do about that? But it's terrible to think that these girls who had zero power on the esports scene, like they were just minor players, if you like, had to warn each other, look out for this guy, and that we weren't helping with that at all. That was what really hurt me. That I was like, I have not been a good ally. I've not been helping. That was what got me the most. That really upset me. Where are the fucking docs cases stuffed with keys? Man, this room was so good. I've never had a hit like it since. Oh, Gingy, please give me some good keys, Gingy. Oh, I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not, Axel. Exactly, Dr. Nick. Exactly. I don't think I have a single task on reserve. Not one. Find a ski hat with holes. Mark the ritual spot. Oh. I mean, I know seems unfair, and you could call it misandry, but I really don't have much faith in men, and I I generally take a very dim view of men until I get to know them. Most men are fucking shit, and I say that as a man who is not threatened by other men very often. But fuck me. I just got so little time for men. Because how often do we let the side down? You know what I'm saying? How often is it that you're like, yeah, men are great. Sometimes. But Christ alive. We make it very hard to be a fan of men. Consistently terrible. I will take your backpack because it is larger than mine. You know what the other thing is, and I mean this from the heart, right? Just think about this. I know a lot of guys who I would consider very good mates, but I'm not their girlfriend. And when you find out what they were like to their girlfriend and what they're like in a relationship, they're completely different people. The way they are with you is not the way that they are with her. The way they are with their girlfriend, you would be like, the fuck, dude? What are you doing? That sucks. Like, not like abusive, but just toxic. Just like bad boyfriends. Dog tags case? I mean, it's worth like 100k, 107. We could swap it out, but it's like, I guess we could. That's worth a little bit of money too. They're not worth a huge amount. Oh, women could be terrible. But I'll say this. More often than not, women are terrible to other women. Which is like, not cool. Most of the women I know, the beefs that they have are not with men. They're with women. Which is a shame. They should be on the same fucking team. But women are really mean about women. Any women watching this, I'm sorry if I'm wide of the mark. That's just how it feels. Listen, Abadan. Alright, fucking liberal cuck. Here's how it has to be. Men are in charge because we're the best, and women just cook and clean. What's wrong with that? I think that's... Bring back the trad wife. You know what I'm saying? Bring back the fucking trad wife. All these women having their own thoughts and feelings and careers and shit. What the fuck has happened? This is what's wrong with the modern world. Cobra Flax is here to tell you the truth. Please do not clip that out of context and ship it. That would be unfair. You can clip that. Wait. Are you guys dosing or fannying?
We're AED.
We're dosing. We're playing ability draft.
Yeah.
Do you think we can get 2 more?
You down for ability draft?
No. Do you only want to AD?
I'm only playing AD.
Okay, alright.
Yeah, we're
Alright.
only playing AD,
Maybe
so
we'll
just
play
tell
2
them.
more.
Perhaps. I hope so.
Maybe. I'm kind of a bit done with dotes.
Really? Ali! We've been having so much fun!
Yeah. But I'm just bored.
We need
You're
a
waiting
patch,
for the
don't we?
patch? Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Alright, well,
I'll play now and
maybe
again.
I see you tomorrow anyway. Alright. GG's. Twitch skinhead? No, Gatcha's TJ Hooker is an incredibly sexist woman toucher. Let's be real here. Okay, let's be 100% real. If you had TJ Hooker on a modern police force, the amount of touching, he would be done in a month. He would never have made sergeant. He 100% would have been demerits or whatever the fuck they have. I don't know. In no time. You cannot touch the number of women that he touches and get away with it. The man is a woman toucher. Not in the good way. Not in the consensual woman touching way that I enjoy. He's just touching women. He's a shaker and a toucher. That's true, actually. You probably would get away with it. Paid holidays. Administrative leave. I mean, the thing is with the police in particular, and I've known a few coppers, and some of them were really good lads, and some of them were absolute pieces of shit. Who, one of them particularly, got found out and got in big trouble, is that if you think about it, most people avoid confrontation as much as possible. But if you're a police officer, the nature of your job, which we do need, we absolutely need people to do this job, but the nature of your job is confrontation. Like, there's no two ways around it. You're gonna have to get in physical altercations with people, many of whom are going to be especially unstable people, right? And you've got to be there front and center, putting your life on the line, putting your body on the line. That's a big ask. Some people don't mind that. They seek it out. They're like, fuck yeah, dude, I want the action. I came here for this. This is what I want. To those people, being a police officer is fantastic because there's a chance of getting in a fight, right? Like that's what they fucking want. And that's where the problems come in, I think. Is that you essentially have a job that would only really attract nutters. Certainly on the beat level, you know, your average copper. But I think in the main, let's be honest, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of coppers in the UK. 99.9% of them are fine, right? So when people say all cops are bastards, I do think that's unfair, because without them, we'd be absolutely fucked. And the same people saying all cops are bastards. The problem is, without good community policing, without good police coverage, poor areas get poorer. Like, bad policing leads to even more poverty and shit. But I think that it is a job that the problem with it from a non-police officer perspective is that it feels like when someone fucks up and acts a cunt, they get away with it because the lines close around and it's like, we've got to look after our own. And that's the issue. Not necessarily that they fucked up, because people fuck up in all kinds of fucking situations. The problem is, if you have that level of authority, you absolutely cannot betray that trust, because a few people betraying that trust breaks the whole fucking system. That's the problem. And when you have police officers turning a blind eye to the evil doings of some of their fellow officers because, you know, we close ranks and we look after one another, it shouldn't be us versus them. But their feeling from the police is that society is out to get them. Like, we're looking to catch them out. And if they fuck up, they've got to look after each other because no one else is going to. And if you think about it, they see society from a totally different point of view to the rest of us. They only see the worst. And when they fuck up, they're seen as the bad guys. And they're like, how can I be the bad guy? I'm the only one protecting you from this shit. That's how they see it. And that makes them feel like they're better and they have authority over everyone, not just the lawbreakers. It's like I was saying about people being famous. Being a police officer and having that authority, I think it fucks some people's brains up. We don't have guns over here, Emma Dent. So it can't be that. Let's just fucking keep hitting reserve. We'll try and get into a fucking fight. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Who wants a scrap? Come to reserve for the next 5 minutes if you want a scrap. Who polices the police? This has always been a problem, like who watches the Watchmen, right? Is that essentially you need some level of guardianship over society. We have to empower people to arrest ne'er-do-wells. Or we go back to the situation we were in medieval times when there was no organised police, and if your shit got nicked, you had to sort that out yourself. Because there's no fingerprints, there's nothing. The evidence is, did someone see you do it? And even then, it's your word against theirs. So you just load up with lads and go around there and say, give me my shit back.
Evilish just resolved for 15 months.
Like, you have to get a fucking posse together. And then we were like, we actually need, like, an organized force. And then you have, like, internal affairs in America. I don't know what they call it over here. You need people investigating bad coppers because it would be easy to be corrupt. But the average person had no recourse to law. None. Like, obviously, you know, if people got caught doing something, but just think how often you got away with shit in those times. Like, just think of the level of criminality that would have been possible. It's impossible to imagine. I mean, yeah, I'm sure the crime rates weren't wildly different. I'm talking about the rates at which ne'er-do-wells were caught and punished. Yeah, I mean, it's the same. I think a lot of people that join the army or join the police are probably quite conservative. I mean, they're all, a lot of the people that join the army and make a career of it are very patriotic. You'd have to be. You're potentially dying for your country. They're royalists because essentially you have to swear an allegiance to Her Maj. Or His Maj as it is now.
He's an outlaw, loose and running, came the whisper from each lip, and he's here to do some business with the big iron on his hip.
Big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. Jesus Christ. So, I have fired a few guns. I'd say of all the guns I've fired, the 1911 was my favorite. That's just a fucking great gun. Feels good, it sounds good, it looks cool, and it's an ancient gun. Like, it's still a great gun. That's crazy. Like, the 1911 is like, you still see people carrying them. It's like, it's just a great fucking gun. Great design, great caliber, meaty. Just fucking really good. .45. It's a serious gun. The guy who... Shit, I wonder if I can find the video. I'll find the video for you guys. This is an old vid. Like, this is some deep flax lore. Well, you say that, but I've seen a few gunfights on YouTube and stuff. I'll be honest with you, it's not often that anyone needs more than 7 shots. Especially point blank. 7 shots that will basically drop you. You think you're getting up? Come on. These things are fucking death machines. Like, it's not a video game. More often than not. You fucking shoot someone with a .45, they ain't getting up. Like, that's a dangerous gun. Well, if you can't hit him and kill him in 7, you still think you're making it out of this gunfight? Well, you think they're gonna miss all their shots too? Are you guys still sticking with the AD?
We're playing the AD.
We're playing.
Okay. Okay. I resign. Like, I just think this idea that if you watch all these gun porn YouTubers, they're all like, you gotta, here's your smart reload. If you ever watched any vids of people in gunfights, it's like one guy falls over, the other one doesn't. It's not John Wick. It's like, can you get your gun out and hit them enough times to incapacitate them or kill them before they hit you? That's pretty much a gunfight. Most of them take place at like less than 10 feet. It's like an altercation, someone robbing you, someone mugging you. It's very rare that you need 20 shots and a spare mag. Like, these guys that have this everyday carry shit where they're carrying around all knives and guns and spare ammo. What the fuck, dude? How often do you think you're going to be in a situation where you're actually going to be able to fucking use that? Where even if you've been to the range 1,000 times, someone is shooting at you for the first time in your life, and you're going to calmly empty your mag, reload, and fire another bunch. Like, what are you talking about? You want something reliable. 911, the 1911 is very reliable. A revolver is most reliable. I would have a revolver if it was for self-defense. Something nice and short. Whip it out. Bang. If you don't get them, you're done. It doesn't matter if you've got a fucking extended mag and you've been to the range, it's got a laser. Fuck all that. You're going to be shooting in a panic. Your adrenaline is going to be through the roof. It's life or death. There's no fucking la-di-darring about and, you know, what the fuck? Who do you think you are? It's all these action movies have made people think that if they just practice, they can be John Wick. Fuck it off. Absolute gibberish. This is dog shit, isn't it? The sauced. I love that sound. Oh yeah, this one too. Beautiful. Big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip.
Excuse me, sir, but it's time to goose.
Casuaxman just resolved for months.
Thank you. I mean, I think Tone has it right when he carries a polearm. Like, if you got in a fight, a street fight, and a lad whipped out a polearm, are you honestly telling me you'd think, huh, nice try? You'd fucking run a mile. Any sane person would. Lad brought a polearm. He had it on him. He had a polearm on him. I'm out. I am running as fast as I possibly can. He's got a polearm. He just has it on him. Just imagine it for a second. You're out on a Saturday night. Someone's getting rowdy. Everyone's like, this lad's going to get his fucking head kicked in if he's not careful. Someone starts on him. Hey, pal, you've been fucking shouting your fucking heat off all night. You're fucking doing me not. Oh, yeah, what are you going to do about it? I'm going to fucking knock 10 stages shit out of you, pal. Oh, yeah? Whips out a bill hook. Exactly, Bob. You'd shit it and run a mile. I'm going to edit my sane a little bit. Let's see. Now they can go for headshots. Half-Sword did look funny. I played Hellish Quart with Plague the other day. That was fun. I'm going to get so it's half term next week. For those of you who don't have children and aren't aware of these type things, prepare accordingly. I would say that generally during half term, you want to avoid going to any kind of museum that would be suitable for children. Because every parent has the same idea, especially for young kids. They're like, I know what I'll do. It's half term. I'll take the kids to the Natural History Museum. That's something to do. And then you get there and the queue is around the block and it's just kids. And if you didn't book, they're like, sorry, you can't come in. You didn't book. It's a nightmare. But driving, it's an absolute pleasure. The roads are empty, which makes me realize how many people are dropping their kids at school in a fucking car. Your kid doesn't need a car to get to school. Unless you live in the country. If you live in the city or a large town, teach them to take the fucking bus. Alright, lads.
Сука ты, блядь, и упырь, блядь, гнида, блядь.
What do we got?
Все к барыгам крутит. Ну и что тут за хуйня? Вон по бабам. Ну, пожрать бы, конечно, вообще не помешало бы это.
Насильно.
Зачем, блядь,
вот
чё?
Друган мой бывал.
Any of you lads got a cowboy hat?
Нормально, нормально.
Я к барыгам. Ёпра, блин, все отбили на...
What's the crack, boys? Yes, lad.
Не, я с пацанами за такое не дёрну.
Do you know what I find kind of sad? So when I leave this map, these guys all cease to exist. Terrible. Like they no longer exist from now. They're gone. It's like they never happened. We won't remember them. We had conversations with them. We interacted. There was some level of, they looked at me, I looked at them. It's like when you have an interaction with a stranger and you can't remember their face a minute later. Did you really interact with them? Did they exist? Were they a real person? Or were they a figment of your imagination? Is anything actually real? Just think about that. The answer is, of course, yes. Those things are 100% real. And it's a little Elon Musk to think otherwise. You know what I mean? It's a little bit Elon Musk. Sell it all.
Но начало дня уже неплохое.
What was your message? They forever Wallon Suka in our hearts. Mr. Anderson, how will you speak if you don't have a mouth? Do you know what's weird? I love The Matrix. I think it's one of the best action movies ever made. And I can watch it again and again. The rooftop scene where he sees the helicopter going overhead and then wraps his arm around the cable. And you see Morpheus's face like, holy shit, he's doing it. And then Trinity shoots the thing and jumps out. The way the music builds. That's one of my all-time favorite action sequences. Amazing. Amazing. In the cinema, everybody was holding their breath. It was just ridiculous. The first Matrix is genuinely fucking amazingly good. However, there are some questions. Number one, they're able to change Neo to make him think that his mouth is gummed up. Is that purely because he's still in the Matrix? That's it? If you're still in the Matrix, they can fuck with you? That's it, right? But when you're not in the Matrix, they can't fuck with you. That's the only explanation I've been able to come up with. Yeah, I think you're right. But so, I don't think they did, because they definitely arrested him. The way I saw it, they took him in, they interrogated him, they tried to spook him, and then they essentially knocked him out, put him in bed. But the thing is, as soon as he wakes up, he gets a phone call from Morpheus and it's on. So, it's like, you're telling me that they can only alter things within the Matrix, right? So they alter the Matrix for him to think he hasn't got a mouth and all the rest of it. Like the way the the sort of MacGuffin, if you like, is that theirs is a world that is based on rules that they have to follow. So the rules of physics, or the rules of the game, if you like, still exist. Like, that's a thing. So the bug that they put in him, was that just essentially a trace program that existed within the Matrix? Because they then remove it, but they do it within the Matrix. They don't do it in the real world. Welcome to the world of the real. That's the real world. And the way they hunt them there is with the squiddy things. I showed that movie to one of my best mates, and he hated it. And I was like, I am never showing you a movie again, as long as I live. Patience, Neo. The answers are coming. I know Kung Fu. Show me. Man, it's such a good movie. I really, every time I think about it, I'm like, shit, I could watch The Matrix right fucking now. No. They definitely leave The Matrix. Getting loads of lag spikes. Well, there goes my leg. Leave me alone! Someone took a shot at me. Got a cowboy hat? Where are the fucking cowboy hat havers? Yeah, but I... It's a bold effort at spelling mannequins. Fred. I can't hate you for that. There you go. Maybe we'll get one in here. Apparently not. I'm gonna be real. The fucking... I always found Ragman quests to be some of the worst ones. Ooh, there's a new episode of Invincible out. I'm going to go watch that. I will see you guys tomorrow. I will be around. We do a Triforce mailbag in the morning. I will try to stream a bit tomorrow afternoon. And then I will stream, of course, Friday evening. I hope you guys can join me then. Thank you so much for sticking around. I'll see you later. Take it easy. Peace out.